From the Standing Stone Farm Studio right outside downtown Nashville, it's time for the most ridiculous sports podcast in the world. So sit back, relax, and listen as Bobby Butler and Brandon Bond crack open a cold one and talk all things hockey, pop culture, and complain about everyday situations. It's the Pucks Out Podcast on the Penalty Box Radio Network.
Welcome into another episode of the show. I'm Bobby. He's Brandon.
Heyo.
You can find us on the three majors of social media at Pucks Out Pod. Now let's crack open this cold beer and let's get after it. We've got a pretty dope looking one today.
Yeah, and I can't believe you got it. You're gonna hate it. It's an undead pale ale.
We got that is it's actually not. I actually kind of like it for IPA.
You know, it's funny. Undead pale ale aren't all pale ales undead. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
Let's just throw that out there. There's not a dead one, so to compare it to.
But we got Zombie Dust from Three Floyds Brewing. It's actually honestly there's a lot of IPAs that are decent. This is actually a good IPA. I like this. I could drink this. Like it kind of reminds me of Music City Light.
This sounds like a club drug in a New York City nightclub. If we're being honest, that's what it sounds like. To me, it's good. It's delicious, though. It was a good call. It was much better than last week's.
Yeah, I don't even. What was that? Was last week's for the Liming Kugels? Was that?
No, that was a couple weeks ago. I'm pretty sure.
Was last week just some craft beer?
There's one of them in the fridge. Yeah. So, but we don't keep up week to week. So
don't forget to check us out on What a Maneuver and Patreon to support the show. How are you this week, buddy?
Pretty good, man. Not too bad. Hanging out. Busy at work, getting ready for a couple of 3-day weeks, which normally would be nice, except for my week stays just as busy, and I got to cram it all into 3 days, and then come back to cram it all into 3 days again. Yeah. So, getting really excited about our upcoming campaign, our D&D campaign.
Yeah, dude, I'm working on that. I'm gonna take some time this weekend and work on that. I've got most of it lined up. Just need to get, I've got the outline. Just need to get into the details of everything.
Get into the nitty gritty, if you will.
But it's going to be a dope little thing. I've got some gifts for all you players for Christmas that you guys will get to use on New Year's Day.
Okay.
So that'll be a good little way to usher in the new year. But also we've got this dope. My wife found it. It's Natty Light flavored peanuts.
Yeah, I mean, so it's just water flavored peanuts, I guess.
So we're gonna try. We haven't tried it yet, so
let's do it. Right on air.
Grab a couple. Here you go.
Okay. They smell delicious. They look just like honey roasted. If we're being honest,
I don't know if that's Natty Light flavor I'm getting. Just instead of the water, they just use Natty Light.
Yeah, they just poured a bunch of Natty Light over it, I think.
It's probably
not bad.
It's probably cheaper than getting water.
They're not bad. They just taste like honey. I love how it says non-alcoholic over here on the side.
The aftertaste, I'm getting a little bit of like a slight beer taste on the aftertaste, a little bit. But it's not like odd. But it's not like I could say, "Ooh, that's Natty Light." That's like, beer chicken or anything like beer flavored. It's like a, that cooked out beer flavor.
Yeah, they're okay. It just it's a weird combo.
Yeah. My wife said they were cheaper than just the regular Planters.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Yeah. They're like, look, this is not selling, guys. Yeah. We're having a big problem selling the Natty Light flavored peanuts.
At the Shelbyville Walmart.
People are like, well, it doesn't even taste like Natty Light. Then why did we combine the forces? Okay. Like, we could have literally done any beer in the world. Why Natty Light?
They wanted to take peanuts, which a flavor that kind of adapts to anything that's around, and mix it with Natty Light, a flavor that's really non-existent.
It's not any. Yeah, like why not Natty Ice is what I'm wondering. Like,
or go do a Colt 45. Do Colt 45 peanuts. Some Cobra.
Colt 45 or Cobra are so high class that they don't advertise, would be my guess.
I mean, they can do Old English.
A lot like Lamborghini, I would imagine.
Everyone knows, like, it's Lamborghini and Cobra.
Yeah, I mean, they're high status symbols.
Yeah.
They don't advertise for various similar reasons.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen music videos. There's a reason those two things are always together.
Guys driving down the street taking a quick sip of his Natty Ice Cobra or his Colt 45 OE malt liquor.
All right, let's get into some news.
Everything you need to know about what's happening on the ice. It's time for news from inside the boards.
Not much, but the league is still on track for a 56-game season starting January 13th. Still no word on locations, hub cities, or even divisions or fans. So, it's not like that's less than a month away or anything.
Yeah, no, I mean, plenty of time. Plenty of time for that to happen. They had the final division names. I don't think they took any of our names under advisement. So that's frustrating. That's very frustrating.
I mean, I tried to call in the favor. Only so many I get per year.
We don't get many.
And I've already bet my favorite deductible for the year with Bettman, so gotta wait till after the first.
Sure. Right. Well, thank goodness that was coming up. Canadian division is going to be Canadians, Canucks, Flames, Jets, Maple Leafs, Oilers, Senators.
Are these final, or is this just the latest one? Because I saw that they haven't finalized.
This is the one that I saw. This is a day ago. So I would imagine it's fairly recent. But then the Bruins, Sabres, Devils, Islanders, Rangers, Flyers, Penguins, Capitals, Hurricanes, Blue Jackets, Red Wings, Blackhawks, Panthers, Wild, Predators, Lightning, and then the Ducks, Coyotes, Avalanche, Stars, Kings, Sharks, Blues, Golden Knights. So
not bad.
Not terrible. Great for the Preds. I mean, there's some tough opponents in there, but we do at least guarantee a few wins with the Red Wings being in our division. So yeah, there's a couple of tough squads in the Predators division. I'm just glad we're not sitting with the Bruins, Sabres, Devils, Islanders, Rangers, Flyers, Penguins, Capitals division, though. Yeah. That's going to be a tough division to get through, and no Avalanche or Blues or Golden Knights. So there was definitely some good and some bad for Predators fans. The Lightning they're tough. I've heard they're a tough team. Blackhawks are going to have a decent year, I would imagine. Hurricanes are never easy, but it'll be nice to kind of see some random alignment within a division.
Little change up
for a while, just like kind of an alternate year type of deal.
I did see that a couple teams, and I believe Bruins, Penguins, Kings, and Panthers are the 4 teams, are thinking about if it's not a hub city, playing all their home games at outdoor rinks to better accommodate social distancing, more seats in them.
That's tight, dude.
Yeah,
that's tight, man. I would be blown away.
Yeah.
What if the Predators did that? But obviously, since we don't have a lot of great outdoor ice, it was a roller rink type of deal, dude. How sick would that be if we're just like in a Walmart parking lot, dude? That'd be tight, dude. That'd be dope.
It'd be dope. I think they could pull it off though at Nissan or whatever it is now, LP or whatever. Just doing all the home games there.
That's lame because obviously my issue with going to. I mean, I'll go.
Yeah.
Whatever.
They can do it at the Sound Stadium.
But I'd be down for that. But that's not many seats. Think of how many people you can fit into a Walmart.
It'll just be
lot.
Us there, though.
Just because we're media members.
Yeah, just the media. We'll be the only two. We'll make them open up the outfield bar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The what is it? The batter's box?
Something like that.
Something like that. It's I usually had way too many to know what it's
by
called.
the time before we get there.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially since usually baseball seasons, it's like mid-July and we're toasting in the sun and just also very toasted.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was a fun year for Nashville Soccer Club when it was in the USL. We went to that the bandbox.
Yeah,
the bandbox is what it was. We spent a good amount of time there. That'll be cool, but again, I don't want us to discount a Walmart parking lot. That's
for sure.
Very Nashville.
What about a Kroger though?
No.
Up class a little bit?
Only if we call it the Kroger.
The Krogers?
The Krogers. Yeah, the Krogers. And that way they'll say, hey, it's at the game's at the Kroger's parking lot. but you don't know which one.
Yeah.
You have to guess.
Hey, and if we host a playoff game, we got to be real fancy. Publix parking lot.
Okay.
Fancy.
Maybe, let me hit you with this, a Whole Foods.
Mm.
You know, I mean.
Right down. How about a Trader Joe's?
No,
Keep it real fancy.
Look, Bobby, don't be ridiculous. Okay, you're being absurd.
All right, let's move into outside the NHL.
Now that you know what's happening inside the boards, time for the rest of the headlines with news from outside the boards.
All right, Steelers lose again, 2 in a row. They lost to what, honestly, some people I heard are saying the Super Bowl favorites, the Washington football team. I've heard that around.
Have you heard it?
Yeah, I've heard it mainly around my house, not said by my wife. So, you know, just
on opposite day when she's like, there's no way the Washington football team.
Well, I said not said by my wife.
Well, I know. I'm just saying when people say there's no way that the Washington football team is winning the Super Bowl and you hit them with opposite day and then you're quoting them for that.
Yeah, okay. That's how journalism works.
The Bills, great football team, man. Yeah. They're looking good. I thought that's who you were going to talk about as a potential Super Bowl favorite.
I mean, they're up there, but like,
I don't know if they're a favorite, but would you be surprised come Super Bowl time if the Bills are there? Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily. They looked really good. So yeah, I mean, Steelers are not looking. They aren't who we thought they were.
Yeah.
To quote, one of the great coaches. It's interesting. I mean, it's nice to get a loss this time of year, though. Obviously, nobody ever wants to lose, but you got to lose, or you're setting yourself up for failure.
I don't think they wanted to lose like that. Like, because those were 2 bad losses.
No, not 2 right in a row. Absolutely.
Especially when, like, it's not like they were necessarily good games. Like, they cannot score.
Well, the Bills was not a bad loss. It was a bad loss following a loss.
Yeah.
So that's the bigger problem with that Bills loss in my mind is you came off a bad loss. And not that Washington was necessarily a bad loss as much as it was a bad loss because you had that game wrapped up at halftime.
Yeah.
And you let them come back into it. But I think your next one that you have on the list, the NFC East, had a moderate showing.
Yeah.
Chase Young.
Dude.
Real big case for why he should have been the number 1 pick.
He is what everyone thought Jadeveon Clowney would be. He is monster.
Yeah, well, Clowney had a really great early career as well. Injuries plagued him. So that is a big problem for Clowney. Let's hope Young doesn't get that. But that defensive line is nasty. After watching the first drive, even after they had to punt, I went and threw a little bit of money on the Washington money line. So the football team won me a little bit of money this weekend.
Nice.
So
I refuse that. I mean, I'll bet. I refuse to bet on Washington. I've been burned by them for 26 years.
It's a win-win for me, Bobby, because if they win, then obviously I win a little money. And if they lose, then I get to come in here and bash you and say, what in the world happened to your football team that you owe me money now?
I mean,
Bobby.
What happened to them? That's who they are.
Yeah. They are who we thought they were. No, they looked really good. And against a San Francisco team that's looked a lot better. I mean, singly holding the NFC East lead right now. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, because Giants
lost.
Yeah. So I believe they have full control. I think they have 1 game up on Philly.
They're definitely like 2 games up on Philly. Philly did win, but they're 4-8.
There's yeah. So they have 2. So Washington 6 and 7. Giants. 1 up on the Giants. Giants are 5-8, and Eagles are 4-8-1. Cowboys are 4-9.
Yeah. So
everyone said that 1 tie was gonna that was gonna be the deal breaker, but man, it's looking like it's Washington's division to lose now.
It is absolutely their division to lose.
I'm not sure what their schedule going forward is, but I can find that out. They've got.
Let's hope for their sake they have a lot of NFC East games left.
Yeah, they've got Seahawks, Panthers, Eagles.
What about the Eagles though? Jalen Hurts looked pretty good, man.
Yeah, he's that could be dangerous. They've got coming up. They've got Cardinals, Cowboys, Washington.
So, couple of
I think they win
winnable games.
I think they
sure.
I think they win one. Or I think they beat. I think they lose the Cardinals, beat the Cowboys, and then my fandom is gonna say Washington beats them, and that's gonna. And I don't know what the Giants' schedule looks like, but I think that they are. I think that they have just about at their end of their life for this season.
I think the novelty has worn off of Taysom Hill.
Giants don't have They have the Browns, the Ravens, and the Cowboys.
Yeah,
I think they lose.
Rough.
I think they lose all three. Honestly, I think they might be able to beat the Cowboys, but I think they lose out, man.
Yeah, I mean, definitely possible. The Eagles going in and beating the Saints with the new quarterback. I don't know if that. I mean, I personally think that the novelty is just worn off of Taysom Hill. He's not an NFL quarterback in my mind. You know, he's hard to prepare for, but now that there's game tape on him, again, I go back to. Yeah, I mean, Jameis Winston's not the greatest quarterback that ever lived, but at least he's a quarterback.
To be
fair,
he's not a Taysom Hill did throw a dime for a touchdown that got called back because of offense for holding or something like that. So I mean,
sure, but you're putting yourself in a situation where you're losing.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
So I mean. It just is interesting to me, the decision on that. You know?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Sean Payton must know something that we don't. I mean, I think Sean Payton has earned throughout his coaching tenure that, now maybe because he's never really had to make a decision like this at quarterback, maybe his quarterback decision-making skills aren't that great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with, I'm just saying I've always kind of been of the thought process if Taysom Hill is great at what he is. He's
wildcat. You know.
He's an athlete. I mean, it was just last game was the first ever touchdown pass that the kid threw. You know, so Jameis Winston has thrown 50 multiple times, and he's thrown 150 interceptions multiple times too. But that's a defense and playmakers that are, Alvin Kamara has averaged less than 3 catches a game since he's been there. And that's you're not utilizing the skill set that Alvin Kamara brings forward in my mind personally.
Yeah.
Got to get your playmakers the ball. Hey, who am I to say, again, I'm not Sean Payton. I've never won a Super Bowl. So it's just more of my thoughts on the matter.
Yeah.
So
before we go forward, now I am officially out of every single playoffs in fantasy football. How are you doing? You got any? You in the hunt?
I had a bye week this week in Dynasty. Heartbreaking loss for you. Would not have cared if I had to play you though.
Kiki Cutie. If it wasn't, listen, or I don't know. I think that league I have Deontay Johnson, and I could have had 30 points with all of his if he caught even half of his drops.
He's been a drop machine.
Do you think?
Talk
about having the yips, man.
Yeah, I'm still obviously I had a bye this week. One league I was not even in it. Keeper league, I did not make the playoffs this year, so no ring for me, bro.
I had a subpar. The best showing I had was in our dynasty, but the heartbreaking part was that I lost to the guy that I traded an arm and a leg for CMC for, and CMC got me like 2. And the worst part is he was out like 20 minutes before game time.
Yeah.
CMC would have accounted for an extra point.
Oh,
without
no doubt. No doubt.
And it's a heartbreaker. And so there was one league I thought I was in the playoffs, and I was like setting my lineups. I was actually in the toilet bowl bracket from the start.
Well, you still got to set because you don't want to win.
This isn't a league where it's not a league where it's not a keeper. This is in a different league that resets.
Sure, you still don't want to win the toilet bowl. Keeper league, I'm not the
I can't because I won this week in that league, so I'm already like I can't win. I can't lose that.
I am not the toilet bowl champion. That would be our good friend of the show, Ryan Sassa. You freaking loser. 7 gridirons. I moved on by a hefty margin. The reigning champ continues in his playoff hunt for championship number 2. Bend the knee, our league. I did not win last week, which really hurt me with Lamar Jackson. You not knowing if he was going to play or not, and going into Tuesday, so I didn't have him playing. And so I lost in that, but I won this week. So, and then I believe that our iciest show on turf, our whatchamacallit league.
For the journalist league.
The journalist league here. I did beat the Ultimate Predator this week to move on, and I'll be facing
Davey.
Old Davey this week. So
and I
get dominated.
I won, and I'll be facing Angus. So that'll be, and I think she's killing it this year. But
yeah, she's dominating. We were giving her crap for taking Alvin Kamara first.
Yeah,
and leaving me with Saquon Barkley, which has not been beneficial to have this year.
Well, hopefully Dalvin Cook and David Montgomery will have another good week for me in that league, because that's the last league I'm in the playoffs.
Honestly, the Carolina Panthers really need to save CMC because Mike Davis is really helping me. What really
killed me was
now.
the trap of playing the Carolina defense in multiple leagues this week.
Yeah,
that's what killed me in daily as well.
Yeah, there was a couple of teams that I think I played the Cowboys D, which was actually not bad, 19 points. So nice, I did not have a big problem with them in one league. But I'm in the hunt. Some championships are on the horizon. Obviously, the most important to win the Bond Dynasty League trophy, to keep at my house for another year, is very important to me. Bill Cosby sleepers are on the hunt for ring number 2. And honestly, I love you, buddy. I was not worried about you this coming up week. I ain't worried about Nick Sabrowski this coming up week.
I'm surprised it was that close. I've limped into the playoffs in that league.
Yeah.
I mean, my injury...
You're the third seed, though.
Yeah.
But to be fair, me and Hunter have straight murked you guys, dominated y'all all season. And knock on wood, I'm hoping that he gets put out next week and I don't have to face him. Because it was a battle. Both times
my starting quarterback is Andy Dalton in that league.
Yeah, that's a rough go of it for sure. I just need to make sure that my quarterbacks stay healthy, because Nick Foles hasn't been playing, and Trubisky had a really good game this week, and I had to drop Trubisky at one point, and so I have literally no other quarterback. So Aaron Rodgers and Josh Allen really need to keep me going. I'm ready. I'm ready. If I'm sitting here talking to the, hey, appreciate it. That I would not root for you, because I would have to actually give you that trophy and then order your nameplate. No, I really do appreciate it. It's it's definitely a fun league that couple of players have traded themselves into prominent positions in the playoffs this year. Yeah.
I hope CMC does not come back now. I want to save him for next year.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I'm still on a dry spell. I mean, I think I won a BS league last year, but I'm just hoping to get a couple more rings in hockey season when it comes around.
Yeah, I need a big win in hockey. I think I've got a couple of championships, but not a lot to my name. Yeah. So we'll be intrigued to see what happens there. We're going to have a fantasy basketball league coming up soon. I'm going to get the draft all squared away and set up tonight for that. So,
nice. But anyway, let's move on. Heartbreaker for the Browns, and not just the Browns, but also me and many other bettors who had them covering the spread of 3. So it was
tough.
I had a six same game parlay, and I hit on everything. I actually hit on most of it, like really early. And the only thing I was really worried about was Nick Chubb rushing yards, because he's just, with Kareem Hunt there, he was and then literally he had one big drive, and then I was like, cool, I got this. I thought Browns were going to win. It looked like they were going to push on that, which meant that I would get lower odds but still get a payout than the safety. But the Browns, going in, I thought that it was a good team in the Ravens versus a hot team in the Browns, and I thought the hot team was going to win. It was a great game, though. I think best game of the season so far.
Yeah,
it was a very entertaining matchup. Did you? What did you?
I didn't get to watch a whole lot of it, honestly, and I just watched sports from all weekend, all day.
Did you see Lamar Jackson having to go take a shit in the middle of the game?
He Paul pierced it.
He said that. He actually called out Paul Pierce. He was like, "No, I actually had cramps. I didn't pull a Paul Pierce."
Yeah,
but
right.
middle of the game, he runs to the locker room holding like his backside, kind of doing that like limp,
doing the shit walk.
And then the backup quarterback comes in, just not playing well.
McSorley.
Yeah, McSorley comes in. And like he's running, like someone's coming out the door, and he like tells him to rush out of the way, and like he goes in the door.
You definitely got to poop, dog.
Yeah, and then he comes back out. Literally, he comes out onto the field as McSorley goes down with a knee injury, gets in, throws up a touchdown pass immediately.
Yeah,
he took the Browns to the Super Bowl.
He did. I mean, hey, somebody's got to. Yeah. So probably one of the biggest stories that we've talked about on this podcast. Sarah Fuller, the kicker for Vanderbilt, the women's soccer player that they had to recruit after some kicking injuries, scores the first and second point ever scored in FBS college football in a Power 5 game, kicking 2 extra points. What an awesome thing to watch and see, man. Yeah. I mean, and you could tell there's a bunch of folks out there that are, oh, this is a publicity stunt. Yeah. Bro, why would you want to publicly bring attention to an 0-8 football team, 0-9 football team now? No. I mean, Vanderbilt doesn't care about their football program, much less bringing attention to it.
And the worst was people online saying that the team didn't like her and it was causing.
Dude,
and then
you could tell.
Like they got hype for that. Dude.
She's a member of their team.
Yeah,
it was.
And they were saying last week at halftime she was one of the only ones getting hype at halftime, getting everyone together and around the team.
She's the kicker on Vanderbilt. Yeah. You're literally the best player on the team.
And guess what? She's the only member of that team that's worn Vanderbilt colors and won a championship.
Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, exactly. So really, congratulations to her. Would have loved to see her kick an actual field goal if it wasn't Vanderbilt. They were too far away and they had to bring in like their punter or whatever to kick the long field goal. So would have loved to seen her get a 3-point kick, but hey, that's awesome. It was, and I was watching the game. It was my dad's birthday this weekend. And, obviously he's a big Tennessee fan. Obviously, that game was pretty much in hand. He was excited for that to be a part of a full Tennessee game, Tennessee versus Tennessee team, and that to be a part of a part of history. You get to watch it. You get to watch it live happening.
They the ball that the first point she's keeping, the second ball they're sending to the College Football Hall of Fame.
That's awesome. That ref came and sought her out. Yeah. She's hyped. She's and he's tapping her or whatever, COVID, and he's not trying to get up in her face or what, but he's tapping her and she's like kind of like looking around like, did she do something wrong? And he hands her that ball and it was, it was a pretty emotionally charged moment. And that was awesome to see and be a part of.
But Cleveland baseball team to change their name. They were originally supposed to do it yesterday, and then they came out and said that they're going to do it in 2022.
Baseball team, bro.
Yeah.
At this point, Washington set the stage.
Yeah.
The Cleveland baseball team would be awesome to me.
I believe that there was some stuff that there was some history and like the Spiders are high up on the list. And then the Municipals, which would be a dumb fucking name. But I mean, I think Cleveland baseball team would be a solid one.
I think that would be great too. I'm a Cleveland fan. I will refrain. I'm not that guy.
Just pick a color. I think all Cleveland teams should just have a color.
Yeah, I guess you can't be the Reds because there's another Ohio team that is the Reds.
Yeah.
But no, I'm.
Just go Browns. Just every Cleveland team is the Browns.
I'm not here to, we've talked about it. The word Indian itself, not a slur, but look, if folks are upset about it or, don't want to, look, man, who cares? It's sports to me. I'm not a Cleveland fan now because they've changed their name. Maybe I wouldn't have been initially if they were never that, because that was my high school and my middle school team and they're the same symbol. And that's really where I kind of locked into them. But I mean, now that I am a Cleveland fan, who cares?
And they've already changed the mascot. So,
Right.
yeah, I mean, and my biggest thing is, and I actually had a discussion with Ryan, with our boy Ryan Sass about it this weekend, because he's got a friend who's a Washington football fan as well. And he came to me and he was like, what are your opinions on? And I was like, dude, first off, I'm a white guy. My opinion on the matter does not matter because I'm not like, what I think doesn't matter. But also, I'm not a fan of the name. I was never a fan of the name.
Well, especially, that team name especially was
that was
literally a racial slur.
Yeah.
Like, look, Native Americans, whatever. But I mean, as far as it's not as derogatory as
like and that was the whole thing. It was like at
Washington
no point would
team.
like, and I always, whenever people bring it up, I always, and they can never, I'm like, okay, would you go up to any Native American in the street and call them that word right now? And they're like, well, no. I'm like, so maybe it shouldn't be a name then.
Sure. And yeah, I mean, I am not a get offended kind of guy myself. I've grown up a white kid, middle class, no problems, no issues in my life. If somebody calls me a honky, I'm like, all right, okay.
Yeah.
But again, I haven't had any type of racial prejudice or bias towards me for me to have a big opinion on it. The team name changed. It affects nothing. The Cleveland baseball team is still not going to win a World Series and make me happy. So what does it matter?
And like I told Ryan, it's just it's an excuse for me to go get more gear. Get another hat, get a sweatshirt, get a jersey.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe I'll just keep my Chief Wahoo Indians hat as a memorial type of thing within my man cave.
Yeah, like now I'm going to go get a Chase Young jersey. I've got my AP jersey. I've got my Clinton Portis. I've got a Riggins jersey. I'm not going to wear those. They've got the old name on it, but they're going to be, those are going to be up on the wall.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's still a part of history and you can't, in my opinion, erase history.
Yeah.
You know where you've been, know what you've done, acknowledge that, hey, maybe this was not the best call in the beginning, but it happened. And it was a part of sports history, which is something that's so important to us is history across sports. So if they want to change their name and not win a World Series for me, hey, what was different than that from last year?
Yeah. And watching the show might be an improvement. You might get better after a name change.
That's true.
Yeah.
The baseball team.
Yeah. All right. Who makes it harder though is the second team that does it, because then they can't just choose the baseball team.
They can do whatever they want. You're in Ohio, bro.
All right. So let's move on to our main topic of the day. We're talking our top 5. This is SportsCenter commercials. What a great series of commercials. Very few busts on it, honestly.
No,
there was one or two that I wasn't a big fan of, but like they were still entertaining.
It was just more of, hey, that's not it. I think all of them individually are great. They are just not great compared to each other back to back to back. That was more of
and
the
it also
problem.
depends on what sport you like. I did not care for the NASCAR driver getting rid of the speed bump. I didn't care.
Yeah.
Like, it was because I don't care about NASCAR. So I was like, all right, well, that's whatever.
Well, there's a lot that
and I was like, and that's definitely a safety hazard, but okay.
Well, that's the fun part of it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we'll talk these top 5, but I know that both of us have so many honorable mentions that we'll discuss. This is our main content for the day. Do we want to, let's go 5 to 1 each of us, and we'll kind of give some brief descriptions of the commercial that we chose on our top 5. And this was hard. The problem is that maybe this really isn't my top 5, but it's the ones that stood out to me. So I'll start. One of my favorite was the Steph Curry.
Yeah.
He walks into the cafeteria and he's like, "Oh man, didn't know you guys were watching last night." Like, and the other anchors that are with him are like, "What? What are you talking about?" He's like, "Scored 27 and 10. What's the meal of the day?" Yeah. Chicken curry. Yeah. And so then he's like, "Hey, thanks. I do this guy for you guys," talking to the cafeteria workers. Yeah. They're like,
He really likes the chicken.
Who is that guy? I don't know, but he really likes the chicken. So I thought that was super funny and well.
I do
played.
want to point out, are we supposed to believe that guys like Scott Van Pelt and super famous are eating at a cafeteria style lunch with like one of like if I was like one of them, I was actually looking at what it was like a peanut butter jelly and an apple these guys were eating.
Yeah, no, I would imagine that ESPN does have a cafeteria like that.
Yeah, I'm sure, but it's better than what it was showing.
Sure. Well, I mean, again, it's a commercial.
I know.
So
have a little bit of continuity in it, though.
Yeah, but I don't think that the This Is Sportscenter commercials were all about continuity.
They are the worldwide leader in sports, and they need to start acting like it.
It was hey, this
is not Fox Sports 1, okay? I would expect that from them.
So what do you have at number 5?
I've got, and you weren't a big fan of this one. Are you Landon Donovan getting the yellow and the red from the printer?
I just thought it was. I think it could have been.
It was like subtle, but it was one of the few. Like a lot of them, like I chuckled a lot of them. I was like, oh, that one. I was like, I wasn't expecting. I didn't know what it was going to do.
That was my problem. It was too subtle. These are non-subtle commercials. Yeah. That it was subtlety. Like he should have really kicked the.
Well, I think the point is that like he barely kicked it and he got a yellow, and then then he got the red just for complaining about it.
Yeah, I thought it was funny, but I just didn't. I just thought it was. I thought it could have been done a little better.
Yeah.
Maybe even if a referee came out and carded it.
The reason I like it is that's what I was expecting. I was expecting someone to come around the corner and give him one. But I love that it just printed it.
Pop up from that cubicle and like card him up. Yeah. I mean, it was, again, it's one of those that these are not funny. It just wasn't one of my favorites.
Yeah. Again, continuity. I like to think that somebody like they'd planned that and then somebody like used the printer for like a business purpose and it printed it on like a yellow card and like, what the hell?
Yeah. And that would have been funny to me. It was like somebody was then following him up and trying to print like a legit legal document or something. And it was like printed on yellow paper.
That's the This Is Sportscenter sitcom.
Yeah. So my number 4, and it's, there were so many, but I just really, really loved even anchors go through slumps. And there, it's the video of them going through just, watching game tape of themselves. And Scott Van Pelt, the very first one is Scott Van Pelt's head is completely tilted to the left. And I forget the guy that was going through it with them, but he's like, see, you're tilted a little bit there. And he's like, really? I don't see it. I mean, it was very clear. And at the end, he's like standing up and he's like, well, I'm embarrassed. I don't even know what to say about it. Just like little things like that is super funny to me.
My number 4, and it's a classic one. Steve Irwin,
that
the
one
Gator.
Was really, really good.
Oh, look at this beaut!
Oh my God, he's the Florida Gator.
It's Steve Irwin. Was it?
It was the Florida Gator.
No, he was talking to one of them.
I think it was Levy. If I remember.
And the Florida Gator, and he wrestles to the ground. It's just, Steve Irwin, one of the greatest humans to ever live.
Yeah.
He's
a beaut.
Yeah. And it's great. Also, his kids are carrying on his name. But what a great one. And now that I think it maybe should get higher than 4, but for now it's staying at number 4 for me.
Yeah, I think that nostalgia probably pulled it a little higher up for you. I don't think it was I love Steve Irwin, don't get me wrong, but if he was still alive, it probably wouldn't hit as hard.
Yeah.
My number 3, the soccer injury from we've been watching a lot of soccer around the office lately. And they walk through, and a couple guys accidentally bump shoulders. And I think it was Kenny Anderson. He just falls on the ground. My knee. Oh my God. Well, I'll never work again. And they're like, oh my God, let's just leave him. And then they walk off and he kind of like looks around and just stands up and goes on his way.
I think he was like, I can't work for 2 weeks.
I can't. I won't work for weeks. Yeah, that was exactly what he said.
Yeah.
So that was really funny. Kind of a play on the soccer players that do that. So that one was one of my kind of caught you off guard type of funny.
This one, there was actually 2 different versions of this one. The first one I saw wasn't as funny, but then I saw right before we showed the original one, which is the Chad Johnson and Ocho Cinco celebration meetings.
I did like that one a lot.
There was one where the guy got on the table and just started like shaking on the table. I was like, but then there was one where he like one of the guys did a magic trick.
Yeah,
and he's like, and like to count him, he was like uno, and then he was like dos, and then he's just counting in Spanish for him, and then he's like, can you do smoke? He's like, Yeah, we can do smoke.
That was the disappearing football.
Yeah.
And he was like, can we add some smoke? We could add some smoke.
Yeah. Dude, imagine if Ocho Cinco still played now when celebration is legal.
Oh, I know.
Honestly, I think
nothing would change though. He was so exciting with his celebrations because they were illegal.
Yeah.
When he pulled
he would do stuff that is still illegal now. Like
when he went to
he would pull a Roman candle out of his pants and just start lighting it off.
When he went to the field goal post thing and pulled out that cell phone, dude, or when he pulled the Sharpie out, that dude was running around at top speed with the Sharpie in his sock just in case he scored a touchdown. Yeah, the Ocho Cinco was a great celebrator.
And that backflip, remember the backflip he did?
Oh yeah, I mean, Ocho Cinco was the greatest celebrator that we've ever seen.
Yeah, I think they should bring him in. Someone should bring him in as a pinch celebrator, just like
pinch.
Like Aaron Rodgers scores, and he's like, "Well, I can't celebrate well," and then he just like claps, and Ocho Cinco runs in, like in his Bengals jersey, and
like DK Metcalf's celebration this weekend was like. It was too much. It was just too much. Like he got up on the camera thing, and then he went into the locker room area and got like a laminated paper.
Was it like the Family Guy one where it was like full choreographed 2-minute dance?
No, it was just like, I mean, sort of. I'm sure it was choreographed, but it was just too much. Like Ocho Cincos were great because they were simple and they hit you immediately.
Yeah.
If it takes too long, then it's like, all right, you're delaying the game now. He did get a penalty for it.
I do like that before when they weren't allowed to celebrate, players would say, "No, we don't choreograph. We just think of them on the spot." We knew that was a damn lie. And now that they're like, "Oh yeah, we actually spend about 30 minutes after practice each day working on different celebrations."
Yeah. Oh yeah. And you can tell. And that's fine. That's it. This is an enjoyable sport.
Yeah.
So my number 2, I have Josh Hamilton right after he won the home run derby was sitting there talking to, I can't remember if it was Steve Levy or Scott Van Pelt. And he was just talking to him about something random. And Mr. Met walks by and he is mad. And for those of you that don't know, Mr. Met is the Mets mascot. That he's a baseball. And so he's walking by and he's just mad. He walks off, storms off real quick. And Josh Hamilton looks at the anchor and says, "What's that guy's deal?" He goes, a couple of home run balls you hit in the home run derby. They were his cousins.
Yeah, that was a good one. I like that one a lot.
And so I really enjoyed that one. It kind of just like out of left field hit you. So I enjoyed that one. What do you got?
The New Jersey Devil, the elevator, one of the guys, maybe not SVP, maybe Levy, is getting on the elevator, like going up, and he just shakes his head real ominous.
It was like red in the elevator.
He's like, no. And he's just like, nope. The New Jersey.
That was a good one.
Both New Jersey Devil ones were just solid.
You can go ahead and honorarily mention the other.
So there was, it was, what was his name? Ice Penguin? I don't remember the penguin's name.
Stupid penguin.
Yeah. There's a thermostat, like in one of those old antique thermostats, that like you actually have to twist left and right. And it says, "Do not touch." A lady comes up, tweaks it like 1 little degree.
No, she came up and put the sign up.
Oh, okay. So I guess I missed that. I thought she came up and just torqued it. So she put the sign up that said no touching.
She did tweak it, but she didn't put the sign up that says don't touch.
Then the Penguins mascot comes up and just throws it all the way down.
Yeah.
And then immediately the Devil just comes up and yanks it all the way up. Like,
And you can, if you've worked in an office before, that is pretty much and a lot of offices don't even have they have thermostats everywhere, but they don't actually control anything. So people think they're doing something. And I mean, a lot of them they have decentralized, or they have centralized AC things, but they have some decentralized ones so people can think they're changing it.
It's wild. I like to think that would just cause massive fights in the office.
No, I mean, it may cause fights because people think, but people were like, okay, it's warmer now, even though they haven't changed anything.
I would just put a camera on it and watch people just go back and forth, just going up and down on it.
Yeah.
Luckily, my wife and I, we work from home now, COVID, we both have access to the thermostat on our phones. She likes it boiling hot. I'm comfortable at like a solid 58.
Yeah.
So we're just getting on the app and just throwing it up and down.
I'm a 69 guy.
69.
That's
yeah.
perfect. Yeah.
That's
the right
I'm
level.
comfortable just at like 63. When I love hotels, though, that bitch to 55 degrees. leave.
Yeah,
come back.
I know. We've stayed in hotels together before, so
nothing like a good hotel sleep when it's freezing cold.
I don't. Yeah, my thing is, I don't really care. We did when we were in Minneapolis. We did leave the window open, and even you got a little. We should close that.
Yeah. Like it's like 20 degrees.
We woke up in the morning. We're like wearing like our coats and stuff.
The window was frozen on the inside in the morning. Then we come to find out it wasn't just cold. It was the coldest day on recorded history without wind chill that day. So what a great trip.
Yeah. Okay, so number one, we can talk about together.
Yeah.
The best, no easily, question.
Yeah.
It
Big
was
Papi.
Even before I went back and looked at them, no question was it the best one.
Yeah.
He's sitting there, Big Papi's sitting there with Jorge Posada, and one of the anchors says to Jorge Posada, it's like, what is up with your hat, man? This doesn't look like a ball player's hat.
I'm a catcher, man. I don't wear that.
And Big Papi's like, come on, man. He takes the hat and he's shaking it around. He's bending the bill and he's throwing it on to kind of make it fit better. And the Boston Red Sox mascot walks by.
I think Benny was
Benny, yeah. And he walks by and he looks at him and he's like, no, Benny, it's not what you think. And he drops all the stuff in his hands and runs off. Yeah. And so, that one is classic.
And part of what makes it so good is A, I'm a Red Sox fan. B is that Big Papi retired with the Red Sox his whole career. So like, it's like cool, like, cause because if it would be dangerous, like he did that. And then like 2 years later he goes.
He actually did go to the Yankees. Yeah.
But like, no, Big Papi, he's such he's a god in that town. Like him and Tom Brady make up like the Boston Pantheon. And it's just shout out, by the way, to that Funko Tom Brady. Funko Pop. It was dope, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad you like that one.
I need to go find a Tampa one now.
I'm glad you enjoy that specific one, friend. Since we're talking Boston, since I guess we're gonna talk about a few more that we wanted to bring up that didn't make this list. The Manny Ramirez one is awesome to me, and they're like sitting there. The anchors are far back. He's just like he just says like lunch or whatever. He's like, wow, man, he's so crazy. Like he just does what he wants. And he's like sitting there and he's just drinking and, writing stuff. And phone rings and hola. And they're like, oh, he's like, what does that even mean? That's crazy, man. Manny being Manny. The bird mascots all walking into the window continuously. And they're like, we got to frost that window.
Yeah. The Oregon duck one looking at the ducks.
Oh, yeah. Just those. He leans back in the chair. Yeah. That one's a good one.
Both Adrian Peterson ones.
Oh, they're so good. And they should have both been on I wanted to talk about these.
It felt wrong putting like one over the other. So I think they were good honorable mentions.
I think that's exactly why I didn't put. But the one where he's talking to Scott Van Pelt and he's talking about his nickname. He's like, yeah, my dad he's like told me I could go all day. And so they started calling me all day. And he's like, and Scott Van Pelt's like, man, that's crazy. What a great nickname. I don't have a nickname. And somebody walks by. I was like, what's up, AD? What's up, bedwetter? And he's like, oh, what was that? He's like, I don't even know what that was. And then somebody else walks by and was like, AD, bedwetter. And he's like, I told you that in confidence.
I think this is the last one I've actually seen on TV, and that's the Clayton Kershaw, the pencils one.
Yeah, that one's good.
I don't think I've seen like a more recent one on TV than that, and that might just be because I no longer have cable.
Sure.
Don't see him as often, but it's a solid one. And the dolphin mascot playing like the soccer headbutting one. Yeah, it's not. It would never have made my list, but it's a solid one.
Ovi as a Russian spy was really good. He was like, "What are you doing in here so late, Ovi?" And he's like, "Oh, just doing some late night filing." He's like, "What are you, a Russian spy?" And he's like, "That's close." It's like, and then he gets pulled up into the ceiling. That one's good. Yeah. The John Clayton one, I'll never hate on the John Clayton. When he gets done with this segment, he's like, John Clayton, he's a constant professional. And then he gets done with this segment and he whips off his fake suit and he turns on some Slayer and he's like, Mom, I'm done with my segment. And he's got this long ponytail. And so that one was good. Bucky Badger. Was sitting there on Facebook looking at the Arizona.
NSFW.
The Arizona mascot on Facebook. And then somebody comes out, hey, Bucky, have you finished that? And he clicks away from it real quick. And yeah, man, there are just so many. The Manning brothers taking a tour with Archie, and they're in the back fighting like two little brothers would. Man, they're like, we could literally talk about every single one of This Is Sportscenter commercials, and I don't think I would get bored with it. So we should probably shut ourselves down.
The weird. Corey Perry. See, I don't like that. Wild. I think the first read was a good one. Now I'm overthinking it. Outlandish.
Each sixth chick sat on a stick. Little tongue twister.
And downright dumb.
You're kidding me.
It's time for the joke of the week.
All right, you got this one. We're going across the pond.
Piers Morgan insists he's not the pigeon lady from Home Alone 2.
Fake news.
And I mean, looking at the pictures of the two, I feel really bad for this nice lady who's being compared to Piers Morgan.
Yeah.
Is the bigger issue here.
Yeah.
But he technically called her. He said he and I love how the first line of the article is Piers Morgan has been forced to deny a wild rumor that he played a pigeon lady in Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. Right, like and I can just see a guy like Piers Morgan just being so mad that he's been compared to being this pigeon lady. I think he called her the bag lady though. And that right there,
straight offensive.
It's offensive. Yeah, Morgan. Can we just have okay? And on Tuesday, the issue was raised by Morgan's Good Morning Britain co-host Susanna Reid. Can we just have a look at Home Alone 2? Because frankly, it is the best picture. Reid said. Lots of people watch Home Alone 2 and wonder if this is you.
Now, did you watch the segment? So first off, this was a complete, like, they knew what they were doing. So here's the thing. It had nothing to do with this. They had him on, but they also had like an animal person on, like those morning shows do, and they happen to have pigeons. And they literally, and they're like, oh, bring over. And they're like, are you afraid of pigeons? He's like, why would I be afraid of pigeons? Like, who's afraid of pigeons? They're pigeons. He's like, oh, well, good. They go over and put the pigeons on his head. And he's like, you know who you remind me of? Let me pull up this graphic we have prepared and pull up a picture. Now, for some reason, they blurred out her face. I guess they didn't get her permission to use her face on the morning show, whatever. And he, like, that's when he went into full denial. Like,
Morgan 55 replied in mock outrage. I'm sure that it was mock outrage. Piers Morgan seems like the kind of guy that can take a joke
outrage
really
all the time.
That can take a joke really well. You know, why does this keep coming around? This is not me. I'm not the bag lady in Home Alone 2. She's not a bag lady, bro. Yeah, she's a pigeon lady. Okay,
yeah.
And if I'm remembering correctly, she pretty much like convinces Kevin McAllister to, like, go back home to his family or what. I totally forget. It's been a while since I've seen it.
I mean, he needed help and not political. Donald Trump just sends him out into the city. Like, hey, go out into the city. You're a child.
You're good.
I send my children out into the city alone.
Well, I mean, New York City is a lot safer than it wasn't the 80s, to be fair. I mean, if this was the 70s or 80s, like, whoa, that's child abuse, bro. But I mean, the 90s.
Rudy Giuliani hadn't gone crazy yet.
Right. Rudy was keeping it on lockdown. He was keeping it on lockdown. And so, I love how they're trying to, like, play it off for Piers, mock outrage. Like, dude, you've seen Piers Morgan on things. Like, bro maybe it's mock outrage in, like, his mind, but, like, he's not like a mock outrage kind of guy.
The best is him responding to, like, just regular people. Someone said, this is too funny, now I can't unsee it or think it isn't Piers Morgan, to which he replied back, I need you to urgently. Like,
yeah, right.
This is making, like, honestly, he's not helping himself here.
Dude, what is it?
Because have we seen them two in the same place?
No, we have not. We have not seen them in the same place. This is a situation where Janet Jackson, Michael Jackson, are they the same person type of deal?
I haven't heard that conspiracy before.
Really? Well, it was more of a conspiracy early on in the when Michael was, like, alive and stuff. So,
okay.
I mean,
I didn't know we were going. I didn't know if you're going to be like, well, they got tired of doing it, so now it's just Janet.
No, it's just Janet. He was well, the doctor was just like, all right, we're going to kill off Michael, air quotes in. No. But no, I mean, it's just super funny that I love he was forced to deny. Play into it, man. Like, I've always found that about people. Like, look, nobody wants to make fun of the guy that's like willing to go along and make fun of himself with you. You know what I mean? It's like they'll do it, but it's fun.
Yeah. All he had to have said, like, literally, if he had just said, well, maybe, who knows? Boom, it's done. Nobody's talking about it.
It's like Ted Cruz with the Zodiac Killer thing. Whenever he was really mad at first, or he was Kevin from The Office. There was like a lot, and so like
one of my favorite like things is where he sees the sign and you see the absolute dread in his face.
Yeah, and so when he started playing into it, like it's not as fun to call Ted Cruz the Zodiac Killer anymore because he stops vehemently denying it. All right, well, this joke is over. Pierce, you really could have shut yourself down. But for those of you that haven't seen, please go look at a picture of the two side by side because it is uncanny.
Yeah.
You know, it is an uncanny resemblance that it is like close enough to where you're like, are these the same person?
Yeah.
Because
the perfect thing is like he would have been. That's how he, like, honestly, because it's been about 25 years. It looks like a 25-year-old younger Pierce Morgan.
I know. And, this is not, I'm not upset about us crap talking Pierce Morgan.
I feel so bad.
I feel so bad about the lady,
Miss Brenda, Brenda Fricker, which sounds like a made-up name.
I mean, it's a pen name. No,
maybe somewhere is an anagram in there for Pierce Morgan. I know there's no P in that name, but
I don't feel bad for comparing the Pigeon Lady to Pierce Morgan. I do feel bad for the Pigeon Lady for being compared to as Pierce Morgan. So,
what I want to know is what morning show is still having Pierce Morgan on?
I mean, this has probably been long in the works. They're like, watch. They saw this and they're like, look, Pierce Morgan's going to
a long game.
We're going to bring him on because he's Pierce Morgan. And realistically, it's because we think he's the Pigeon Lady.
Yeah. The fact, because I watched it, because I was like, oh, they have graphics ready for this. Like, what?
Dude, they were super prepped up for
You got to wonder if the guy who brought in the pigeons, he was like, wait, is this what I came in here for? I thought I was advertising my pigeon business.
Right. He's like, I'll not be a part of making fun of this poor lady.
He's like, you mean to tell me you didn't want to advertise my pigeon messaging business?
Nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to be compared to Pierce Morgan. And my pigeons will not be a part of this.
All right, we're moving into pop culture. We're going to get back to our Pirates of the Caribbean, but we've got so many Disney announcements that we need to go over. It's wild. I mean, we'll go down this list. It's apparently there's 52 things at their year-end meeting. So let's just start. We'll take 3 at a time.
Sure.
We'll start off with WandaVision. It's going to be their first show coming out on Disney Plus. I'm kind of excited.
Me too. I am super excited.
I do think we have to limit it. We can't talk too much about each one. We'll be here for be here for another hour. But we'll hit on some of them. Wanda from the comic, Scarlet Witch from the comics. You know, they don't touch on it in the movies at all. She's Magneto's daughter. Super powerful. She can literally control reality when she knows her powers. And in the comics, her and Vision's children die and she loses her mind. I wonder if this leads to that. You got that?
No, we're going to do 3 at a time, you said.
Yeah, I didn't know if you had something to add.
No. I feel like I did want to add that if we want to get through 52 of these, that was too much.
Okay.
Explanation.
Okay.
We can let's go through them all and then we'll hit on a couple.
All right. We got Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm not super interested in this. I
am.
I'm going to watch it and I'm hoping to be proved wrong. This one, probably one of the most exciting one. The new Loki TV show. Pretty much when they went back in time, they caused a disruption in the timeline. And this is Loki in one of the trailers we saw. He's running for president of the United States as Loki, not like hidden behind a character. He's straight up Loki.
The next 3, Hawkeye premiering in late fall 2021. A What If, an animated series that from Marvel that features the voice acting cast of many Marvel Cinematic Universe stars. Also, I got a new trailer. Phage announced that the 3 new series coming to Disney Plus: Ironheart, set to star Dominique Thorne; Armor Wars, which examines Tony Stark's biggest fears and stars Don Cheadle; and Secret Invasion, the previously rumored Nick Fury-led series that will see Samuel L. Jackson reprise his role as the S.H.I.E.L.D. director.
Feige also had updates on casting for Moon Knight, She-Hulk, and Miss Marvel. Tatiana Maslany will be lead role in She-Hulk. Mark Ruffalo will make appearances in that. Iman Vellani will be playing Miss Marvel and Kamala Khan, and she'll be appearing in Captain Marvel 2. And this will all interweave into the MCU, which is awesome. And Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, which will air alongside their Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 in 2022.
My boy James Gunn.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Set to release in 2023, which means probably like a New Year's release for the movie and then a Christmas special.
No, that's the 2022 is for the holiday special. Yeah. 3 is 2020.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So 3 is probably going to be like New Year's and then holidays because it's supposed to release with it.
And I Am Groot's series of short films as well. A few movies, Black Panther 2, and they won't be recasting Chadwick Boseman. We kind of talked about that after his passing. So they will be focusing on other Black Panther characters. Third Ant-Man film, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. That's set to come in. It looks like all big returning individuals, but including Michelle Pfeiffer. So that's cool.
Secret time. I had never watched Ant-Man or Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Really? Those are really good movies.
I've seen bits and pieces, but like
you should really watch them.
I really should.
You really should. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Super excited about that. It's going to tie into both the upcoming WandaVision and Marvel's third Spider-Man movie.
Bringing it together.
Confirming Benedict Cumberbatch, obviously, will be there. And he'll be in the unnamed Spider-Man sequel.
And side note, because this is the end of Marvel, your boy Tobey Maguire is going to make an appearance.
You mean the real Spider-Man?
All the Spider-Mans. Tobey Maguire, the other guy, I can't remember his name. They said that James Franco might make an appearance.
Andrew Garfield.
James Franco is going to make an appearance. It's going to be...
That's awesome.
Yeah, amazing.
A new Fantastic Four movie coming. Maybe it'll be better than the other 3, which we did not even talk about on here. I believe this is you.
So we're moving on to Lucasfilm now. 10 Star Wars series are coming to Disney Plus. We've got the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, gonna just be wild. They've got Rangers of the New Republic and Ahsoka, which are spin-offs of The Mandalorian, and the Bad Batch, which is an animated series about the Bad Batch of clones from the Clone Wars, which will be exclusively on Disney Plus. I think most of these are exclusively on Disney Plus, except for some of the movies.
I don't think you included this last little part here, the final Indiana Jones movies in pre-production. No?
I did not see. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't read the. That's not in a bullet point.
You can't read, so
yep.
Let's see here. Star Wars Andor. Starring Rogue One's Diego Luna coming to Disney Plus. The Acolyte, new Star Wars. Yeah, that seems super awesome. A new Star Wars series helmed by Russian doll creator Leslie Headland, set in the High Republic era of the franchise, coming to Disney Plus. Hayden Christensen returning as Darth Vader in Obi-Wan Kenobi.
My boy.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I think you got 3 more right there. Yeah.
All right, A Droid Story, a new project for Disney Plus, will feature a new hero alongside R2-D2 and C-3PO. That sounds kind of like a Pixar kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to watch it, but you know.
I mean, even if it's just for content for the show.
Sure. We'll watch it for tent, okay?
Yeah. Lando, new event series. Not sure what event series is going to be.
We can all hope that Childish Gambino is playing Lando Calrissian.
Star Wars Visions, an upcoming anime anthology series coming to, and then we've got the Star Wars movies. We've got
Rogue Squadron.
Yeah.
Then also Wonder Woman's 1984.
Not sure why that's under this column, but
no, Wonder Woman's 1984's Patty Jenkins will be directing the next Star Wars movie, Rogue Squadron. Disney also discussed the untitled
Taika Waititi.
Yep. Star Wars movie first announced in May that it's already begun development.
Anything he makes her in, I'm watching.
Yeah. HBO is premiering a lot of movies in concurrence with theaters. 1984 is going to premiere on HBO Max for those.
They've got I think they've got to team up with DC because the Justice League Snyder cut. He's also pushing
actually on HBO Max.
Snyder is pushing for a theater release, but I'm excited for that. Yeah,
absolutely. And there's some people that would go and see it in the theaters as well. But for those of me, if some people may not even care to watch it. Unless that it was on something like HBO.
I know I'm going to be disappointed in it, but I can't wait.
I'm not a theater go-to guy.
So yeah, that's my a lot of people are like, oh, I'm sitting. I'm like, I am cool with not going to it. It always listen. Once I'm there and I'm sitting down, I'm fine with it. But it just the whole thing just seems like such a hassle all the time.
It's our Alamo Draft House. That's my spot, dude.
Yeah.
So it looks like obviously there's some coming Disney animation. I don't think that for this podcast we're gonna go into any of that.
I will say Iwaju. Shout out to that. It is for a long time many people thought that I believe it's called Africana futurism. Like Wakanda was the only thing they thought of. This is a new original series about Africana futurism. That's going to be pretty cool. And so I'll watch that. But so let's go back and talk about some of the things. I know Loki and the Acolyte are two things I am super excited about.
The Acolyte for sure. I am most, I think, excited of all these things that we mentioned. I'm obviously most excited for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
Yeah, that's going to be good. I'm going to be interested how they do it. A lot of people are already freaking out. I'm not freaking. I'm not expecting. You
don't go into it with expectations. Yeah. It'll be enjoyable.
Exactly. A lot of people are like, oh well, in the original trilogy, they say they haven't seen each other since Mustafar. So how are they gonna? Why are they bringing?
If you're going into it looking for definite plot holes,
when it literally could be as much as we have his story, and they never. Overlap.
And they say, and
could just be flashbacks.
Let's say they do say something like, "Oh, we haven't seen each other since Mustafar." What's to say they can't meet? Well, they can't meet a couple of times, and then finally meet on Mustafar again.
Yeah,
you're not even selling what could have. He didn't say, remember that time that I cut your arm off on Mustafar? It's the last time that we met. You know what I'm saying? People are too look, if you want more of this world that was supposed to originally be 9 films, you want this. Yeah. You as a fan want
That's the
this.
problem with the fan. I find the Star Wars fandom is some of the most toxic out there because they want more. They want more content, but they only want it in their very narrow, specific, almost like homemade, fan-made stuff.
Well, and that's something that's great about Marvel is you can always argue multiverse.
Yeah.
You can always argue, well,
just wait till they bring multiverse to Star Wars, baby.
Yeah, and so I agree. You want more Star Wars if it's well done, like Solo or Rogue One or The Mandalorian. Those were really, really well done additions to the Star Wars universe that may or may not have some small plot holes, but at the same time, you want more of this world.
Also, this isn't a college thesis; it's entertainment. So what if there's a couple small plot holes? A couple small plot holes, I'm not worried about. Now, if they come out and it's a massive thing, then okay. But something as small as listen, those movies were made in the late 70s. Something's got to give if you want to have more content.
No CGI. Yeah. I am excited about the Loki series as well. You're not. I am excited about I'm saying you're not excited about the Falcon and Winter Soldier.
It's not that I'm not excited. I'm just like, okay, it's gonna be pretty straight. I mean, I think it's gonna be pretty straightforward. Bad guy, good guy versus bad guy kind of thing.
I am not excited about She-Hulk.
I'm gonna give it a chance.
Not excited about it. I'm more like you are with the Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
I'm not excited.
I think part of it is that her character in Strike Force is so bad or just so boring that it's just. I mean, I also have no history with the character.
Me either. That's more my thing. Is I'm not even worried about Marvel Strike Force
but listen,
as a guideline.
If this means we get more Mark Ruffalo, I'm all in.
Right, Mark Ruffalo, the GOAT. You know what I'm saying, as Bruce Banner. So,
but no, Loki's really tight. The screen grab I saw was like him with like two like henchmen, like dock workers, and he's got like a Loki for president like pin on him, and it looked very almost like 1980s like coloring and styles. So I'm excited for it. I think it's gonna be dope.
There is a lot of great announcements here that is really gonna beef up the potential tent.
But what I'm most excited about is the Acolyte, man. That is. They've said it's going to be geared towards adult. It's going to force Disney Plus to put a parental control filter on Disney Plus for people. It's supposed to be based around, I assume, the Sith, and I'm so excited, man. I don't know if this is going to be about Darth Bane or not. But I'm excited.
Now, doesn't the Acolytes have something to do with like the Night Sisters?
Well, if it's during the High Republic, I'm not sure. I think, and I don't know. The Acolyte, I think, is just someone who betrays their faith, and technically, Darth Bane went against the teachings of the Sith to form the Rule of Two. But you could be right. But I mean, if it is about,
I mean, I'm saying that as just a general,
and it could be about the Night Sisters, and I'll still enjoy it. But I mean, with it being High Republic, I'm not sure.
Female centric, take place in the new part of the Star Wars timeline. Announcement revealed.
I guess I'm misunderstanding what they say by High Republic then.
I think everybody's just really, really stoned.
Yeah. It's Star Wars, but Denver.
We'll get more on that, but I thought that the Acolytes were what the Night Sisters.
Yeah, you're probably
called,
right. You're probably right. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just because they said it would be based around the Sith. So, and the Night Sisters aren't the Sith; they're a different faction. Sure. So that's what. So maybe it's about a female centric, with not even about. Them.
Well, isn't Asajj Ventress?
Yeah, but then again, I must be misunderstanding. I must be understanding what they mean by High Republic then, because there's the New Republic, and then the High Republic was. I thought, maybe it was right before the Clone Wars. I thought High Republic was like 500 years when there was Jedi and Sith everywhere.
Yeah.
That might be the Old Republic.
Yeah, that's the Old Republic.
Okay.
Then the New Republic is...
after the original trilogy. That's the New Republic.
Correct.
Okay.
And so the High Republic is somewhere else.
Yeah. I mean, it's a quick Google search. The High Republic is a Age of Republic set 200 years before the events of the Skywalker saga. Okay. So 200 years before the episode 1 is the High Republic. So I don't believe it's going to be about Asajj Ventress. Yeah. All right. Let's move into what are you binging? I'll start out with just some Maduro Brown Ale. I drank a couple, and I was actually at the beer store today getting our beer for the show and saw a 6-pack. It was the last one, so I grabbed one. So I'm going to drink some more of that this weekend.
Awesome. I have been binging. I think I flipped mine. Jameson Black Barrel, and you saw this on the show doc and got me an little early Christmas present, bro.
I was at the liquor store, and the present I got you was going to be late. I'm not. I got it on Etsy. COVID and everything's so bogged down. It's
you got me late. COVID.
Yep.
You got me the vaccine.
Yep. No, not the vaccine. I got you COVID.
Excellent. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Well, I really appreciate that. My dad had some for his birthday this weekend, and it's really good. And I think before you leave, I'll crack that bad boy open and give you a little sippy of it because it's delicious.
Before I told you this out in the doc, you were probably like, how? What?
I thought it was just a really, really strange coincidence, if we're being honest, bro. But it is really good. I would highly recommend it. And once you have a little bit, I know you'll be like, okay, yeah, this is highly recommended. So show wise, I think that early on in the game of the pod, I had this.
Ooh, I hate this show.
Yeah, The Closer.
Ugh, she's so annoying.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy it. I quite frequently find Stephanie and myself. Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye.
I think that show came out when I was like in middle school or high school. My parents would watch it. I had to leave the room. I find her so obnoxious.
She is. I just can't Madeline
watch it.
Wunsch. Yeah. Yeah. No, I can see that, but it's more of just like we've kind of run through Law and Order SVU. We've run through Criminal Minds, and it's just an easy, you don't have to pay attention to it show to watch that is Law and Order based style of show. So I am not going to sit here and argue with you. There's plenty of things that I'm like, you're an idiot. I can't believe you think this way. No.
I'm not mad at you for not. No, listen, the show is good quality. What's his name?
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, J.K. Simmons. I mean, he is enjoyable.
I 100% agree with you that she's a little annoying, but I think the annoyingness is a part of the allure to the show. So The Closer. I know I've said that before because I know you've yelled at me about it on the show.
We've had this conversation.
Sure.
But it's cool because I got a repeat as well.
Okay.
But mine's like from last week. We're still the finale season is dropping on December 30th for the Vikings. So Megan and I are getting caught up. We started a week and a half ago. On season 1, we're on halfway through season 4 right now. We're getting ready for when that second half of season 6 drops at the end of the month.
Everybody prep up. Go ahead and be watching your Mandalorian if you're Mandalorian watchers, because I'm sure by the end of the season, we will have it on Pop Culture to discuss.
Yeah. And we are both at the same place. Pretty much he left seeking out a person. And we are both 2 episodes behind where it currently is.
And that's okay with me because I'm a binger myself. Yeah. I like to watch 2 and 3 episodes.
So what happened with me was the ending of the last one, not this most recent one, but the one that we're going to watch next got spoiled for me. And it's the kind of ending where I was like, nope, not, I'm going to wait till next week because like I don't want a week in between.
You don't want to cliffhang it.
Yeah. So I was like, not going to do that. And then Megan was like, fine, I guess I'll force myself to not watch it because she didn't have it spoiled for her.
But I guess we can go ahead and I'm just going to say one word, Grogu.
Yeah.
We finally have an answer to a long lost question.
A lot of people are not happy about it.
Who cares about other people?
Megan was like, oh, no, he's still Baby Yoda. That's his name. I'm like, well, it's not.
Well, you kind of spoiled just the word that I said, but yeah. I mean, but that is a problem to me. Look, he's not Baby Yoda. He was Baby Yoda when we did not have a name.
Yeah.
Now we have a name. As Grogu. I really do enjoy how they incorporated him being already known.
Yeah,
there was
an edit again, full on spoiler. There was an edit of somebody made of like when Anakin went in to kill the younglings, and they just had him like keep up and go and like hide behind a chair, or like there was one like it just kind of like showed like he's like behind the door that he walks in. He's just like ooh, and just kind of like hides behind a door,
or he was like a part of it. He was like also like.
That's an edit I want to
He's actually a murderer.
Yeah. Okay. All right, let's move into what's snapping your stick.
Bobby and Brandon are about to find out exactly what snaps their sticks.
All right. This one got me pretty hyped on Twitter. Dudes who cannot kick a football or unathletic just talking shit about Sarah Fuller.
Or anybody, really.
And here's the yes, but especially those guys that like to talk shit. There was one guy who, and I told you about it before the show, pulled up a picture of UT football of their defensive posture when she was kicking, and they were in prevent. And he circled him. He's like, see, would they do that against a male kicker? I don't think so. Checkmate. And this guy found, the Indianapolis Colts, the Titans, the Patriots, all in prevent field goal coverage against, guess what? Not a female kicker. He also found pictures from last week's Tennessee game and other Tennessee games of them in the same exact formation. And the dude still didn't take that tweet down. Like he got ratioed quick.
He's sticking to his guns. Yeah, it is so absurd to me that a bunch of people, I think, and we talked about it earlier, a bunch of people saying, well, they're just trying to bring attention to their 0-8 football team, now 0-9, the winless Vanderbilt Commodores, who give no shits about football whatsoever. We're looking for what? What were they trying to achieve by getting more attention to themselves? Yeah. That's so stupid to me. I completely.
It's not like they were
agree.
like a 500 team looking for a bowl game. They haven't won a game.
Exactly. Mine, I know this is going to hit close to your heart. Missing on the first or the last leg of your parlay. They both hurt so bad. The first, especially if you hit the rest.
Yeah.
And then the last is the most painful. You know, obviously a same game parlay, at least you get to know within that 3 hours. But let's say you have a 4-piece parlay that you're putting together and, you know, one game doesn't happen until later and then you miss on that.
What hurts the most is when you miss on like a 4-game parlay, then you get online and see someone who hit, like I literally saw someone hit on a 24-piece parlay. Yeah. He turned $5 into, I think it was like $18,000.
Yeah,
it was it was like insane things.
You know, the thing is, most of those people, they're only showing you that $18,000.
He's probably $60,000.
That dude is $60,000 in the hole. We do it to have fun and like enjoy some sports that we normally wouldn't enjoy.
It's like when Floyd Mayweather posts his win. Like he's like, oh look, I bet $1 million and I won, $300 million. It's like, dude, you definitely also bet like 500 million.
Addict. Yeah, well, and it's I had a dope little on Friday night. I was on it, bro. Like, I mean, I didn't bet a whole lot, like $1, $2, $3 here and there. 5-game win streak, some crazy bets that I put in. Dude, Saturday in the first half of college football, I was like, I was hurting. Yeah. Not hurting money-wise. My one rule, and what your rule at home should be, and I'm sure it's your rule as well, Bobby, don't bet it if you ain't willing to lose it.
Yeah.
As soon as you put that bet in, that's lost money unless it comes back. But yeah, it just hurts. So what do you got for non-sports, brother?
All right, dude. This one, pharmacies not auto including GoodRx discounts until you literally have to say the words GoodRx. I was picking up some meds and it was going to be like $250, $300. Now I had a GoodRx coupon that would have made it $60. I call it now. First off, I want to be very clear. I'm not mad at the pharmacist. It's not the pharmacist doing. They don't make the rules. They're just in there working.
They're just pharmacy guys.
But so they send. Apparently, I'm driving. I'm working all day. It's not ready for pickup. I'm like, why is it not ready for pickup? It got called in 6 hours ago, and then I didn't realize in my emails they said, hey, this is a $300 prescription. Do you really want us to do this? And I'm like, shit, yeah, I do. Just do it. And so I call them and they're like, oh, hey, by the way, this is like $300. I'm like, yeah, I have a GoodRx. They're like, oh, you have a GoodRx? Cool. I don't need that. I can hit the GoodRx button and I can make it $60 for you. I'm like,
I just don't understand
why can't like you just
hit the button?
Yeah, hit it for everybody. Sure. Like there's no reason and why do I have to say the words GoodRx? Just obviously you can you can sell it for $60. Like
also you can sell it for $60 and no one will know. you know, like every time. Yeah. That's absurd.
Healthcare in America, baby.
So mine is more of a Reddit-based complaint, and some people may not have it. Look, this game, Cyberpunk 2077, I'm sure that it's really dope, and I'm sure a lot of people are wanting it. But the problem is everybody's been complaining for it to come out for years. Then they forced it to come out early, and now all I get to see on my Reddit feed is memes about how bad it is. Yeah. You were the same guy last week that were complaining that it wasn't out yet.
So here's the thing. I'm still searching for a new Xbox, but they're so sold out. On my Christmas list, and one thing I was asked for was the new Cyberpunk. However, I quickly took that off because the reviews are so bad, and I knew it. Listen, this game's been in production for 6 years, and they
6. I thought it was something closer to like 10.
I thought it was 7 is when they got into the nitty gritty of actually producing it, making it. But yeah, it's been in the works for about a decade. Anyway, because it was supposed to come out about 3 months ago, and they straight up said it's not ready. It's nowhere near ready. And I know if a game's nowhere near ready, 3 months isn't going to make a difference. If they're saying that means they need like another year or two. Yeah. And I knew when they really, I was like, this is not going to be good. It's not like, and on PC, it's great.
That's what I've heard.
On PC, it's great. And
again, the memes have told me all this. I'm not going to get the game. I'm not going to play it. I don't care.
Yeah. Maybe the community shouldn't have been rushing them.
Yeah, that is true. That's more what I've seen.
Like, don't rush. Like, listen, they only brought it out now because the entire community was like, we need this now.
Well, it was grown adults that are like, all right, you said it's going to be released this date, and I've already asked off from my boss.
Yeah.
Like, bro, your manager at McDonald's is probably going to be cool.
Yeah.
With you
did you see what, so Henry Cavill, they're filming the new season of The Witcher. And he is a known big PC gamer.
Huge gamer.
So the night before Cyberpunk came out.
Christmas?
What?
Oh, sorry.
The night before Cyberpunk came out, he had he said he was under the weather and also that he fell and like had a small ankle sprain. He's going to be out for a week or two. The night before Cyberpunk came out. That dude straight up is faking sick so he can play that game all day.
You know, that's great. But all I care about is it's the only meme that's on Reddit now. Yeah. And I just don't understand it. I never played any of the games. I
haven't seen it yet on Reddit. But I'm on one of the, you want to go into the craziest Reddits? Well, probably not the craziest. Reddit's a crazy place.
Yeah.
Parler Watch. It's just people seeing the crazy responses on the Parler app. It's a wild app.
It's a wild ride.
Yeah. It's insane.
Close this out. Let's get out of here.
All right, guys. We will see. I hope you guys have a great Hanukkah. We will see you guys next week for Christmas. Don't forget that coming up after the new year, we've got our fantasy show coming back, the Fantasy Goons. Us and Davey will be giving all the info you need, and we will see you guys next week.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Pucks Out Podcast. To see what other ridiculousness the guys are up to, check them out on Twitter and Instagram @PucksOutPod.